Used syringes, alcohol wipes, and bottle after bottle of IV drugs rarely given outside the operating room. That's what emergency responders found inside this Maryland home on the morning of January 26, 2022. The bottle, some with needles still stuck inside, contained propofol, ketamine, and other powerful medications used to soothe anxiety and put surgical patients to sleep. For 25-year-old Sarah Harris, the combination meant she'd never wake up.
The morning my sister passed away, I was the first person he called, and I saw her dead body on the floor of his living room. And I knew on the phone, when he told me, I knew he was responsible for it.
The he in this tragic story is dentist James Ryan, the picture of professionalism in this promotional video touting his oral surgery clinic on YouTube.
I'm James Ryan.
Sarah Harris was first a patient in this smile-filled practice, then an employee, and eventually Ryan's girlfriend. That relationship turning the aspiring model into an addict and the prominent dentist into a prisoner, convicted of second-degree murder.
He's a monster. Evil.
Ryan's sinister acts, prosecutors say, included continuously supplying Sarah with potent injectable drugs over the course of their year-long relationship.
He was the drug dealer, bringing drugs to her.
Sarah's mother, Tina, and older sister, Rachel, say it all started because the former pageant queen was struggling with mental health issues. Police say Ryan medicated her to help and kept pushing drugs until she was deeply addicted, something the family discovered during a frightening welfare check at the couple's home.
There were drug bottles everywhere. There were needles all over the floor. We had to be very careful where we walked. And she said, well, he's just hydrating me. I said, this isn't hydrating somebody, honey. What's going on? No, Mom, he's just hydrating me. And I said, how long has this been going on for? I grabbed her arms and pulled her sleeves up, and she was covered from here to here in needle marks and bruises.
Sarah's family saw the signs, watching the beauty they knew waste away to just 83 pounds as they tried to intervene. But the Harrises didn't know the full extent of the abuse until after Sarah's death, when Rachel dug through her sister's computer, uncovering text messages that would prove critical to the criminal case. Police say they show a shared addiction, facilitated by Ryan, diverting IV drugs and the medical equipment to use them from his dental practice, routinely telling Sarah to take medication he left for her, leaving controlled substances in his trunk along with needles and syringes. Ryan even messaging one morning to tell Sarah he'd injected her with ketamine while she was sleeping.
Those text messages were heartbreaking. Horrifying and heartbreaking would be the best way to describe them, because my sister was this beautiful angel and she lit up a room and he took it and he destroyed her.
A beautiful light dimmed by a dentist who prosecutors say abused his position. But just days after Dr. Ryan was criminally charged with murder, the state dental board that's supposed to hold him accountable professionally made a surprising decision.
What was your reaction to finding out that the dental board let him surrender his license?
My blood boiled. I was furious.
Rather than revoke or even suspend Ryan's license, Maryland's dental board allowed him to voluntarily turn it in. A move records show even gives him the option to try and get it back in just 2 years, if a prison sentence doesn't stand in the way.
They should have said, we're taking it. We are suspending it on our end. We're not giving you the opportunity to voluntarily give it over to us, like you're being a good guy by giving it to us.
I mean, on what planet is that not enough for them to say, okay, this is, we're going to need to go ahead and revoke this because this is absolutely disgusting.
But not entirely uncommon. Our national investigative team discovered dentists across the nation are often allowed to surrender their licenses rather than face more serious discipline like revocations or suspensions, even in cases with egregious misconduct. We spent months drilling down into records for hundreds of dentists disciplined by dental boards in nearly every state over the last 3 years, looking specifically at a sample of those hit with the most serious disciplinary actions. Our team found something unexpected. At least 50 of the more than 300 dentists we looked at were given the option to hand in their dental license to avoid further board investigation or charges, the publication of more information about their case, or the listing of what some consider more severe punishment on their public record.
I don't feel he should have his dental license any longer. It should be pulled.
That includes the case of an Arizona dentist with a trial set in December, accused of stealing his patients' identities. He was allowed to surrender his license months after charges were filed. But cases span the country. Our investigation found license surrenders made to dental boards following everything from DUIs to sexual misconduct in the office, coming to work intoxicated, gross negligence, infection control problems, diverting dental drugs for personal use, and even over-sedating patients to the point they needed further medical treatment.
I think that sends a very bad message. I think that gives liberty to dentists.
Freedom that in some cases lets dentists try to get back into business after giving up their licenses. Disciplinary records we examined for Florida showed dentists who surrender there have to agree never to reapply. But many states, including Iowa, Maryland, Missouri, Utah, and Virginia, give them the option to ask for their licenses back, sometimes within as little as a year.
Just because someone's gone to school, just because someone has certifications, does not make them a good person. And you need to be mindful of who you are seeing. You need to be mindful and protect yourself and your family, because monsters exist, and most of the time they're hiding in plain sight.
For weeks, our team sought out industry experts, including attorneys who handle licensing and malpractice cases, expert witnesses, academics, and groups focused on dental ethics and education, trying to get reaction to our findings with no luck. The American Dental Association, the powerful lobbying group that helps to shape policies for dentists across the nation, refused our interview request. They pointed us to the American Association of Dental Boards, an umbrella group representing disciplinary boards in every state. The group never provided anyone to speak with us despite numerous attempts.
And this was actually the last picture that we have as a family.
For now, the Harris family is fine doing all the talking, even though it dredges up regrets and pain about the sister and daughter they lost.
I could have prevented it. I have to live with that.
Is that the hardest part?
It's a hard part. The hardest part is her being gone. She was my world.
A world they now want to change for Sarah, pushing for more transparency and oversight for dental boards and more attention on dentists with their own dental record.
In some people's minds, it's like you're going up against this power that's incredibly difficult to go up against. But I'm a fighter. I wasn't going to be scared, and I'm not. My sister's story will be told, and we're going to fight for something to be put into place where these doctors are held accountable.